for this week's challenge, we've got a challenge from Carl, and it's to use the new rows step. So let's go ahead and take a look at the data. So we've got these dates that are recorded for some charity fundraising. So on specific dates, where is the total for that fundraising? And if we want to fill in a row for every date and get kind of an average of how much was raised on that day, or an estimation for how much might have been raised on that day, then we're going to use the new rows step to create a line for each date, and then we're going to do a calculation in order to get to that number. So I'm using the new rows step, so I'm taking the values from one field, and that's the date field. You can see it starts at the minimum and ends at the maximum, and we want to copy the row from the value from the previous row. So that means, as you can see here, that on the 2nd of January we get that 0, the same as on the 1st of January, which was native to the dataset. And then once we get to the 300, it then fills down, and so on and so forth. So that's great. Next, we need to work out how many days they've been fundraising for. So I chose to do this using a ranking calculation. So I'm ranking on the date, and I'm ranking in ascending order. So that means that basically I'm just putting a row number in front of each of these rows. And then to make it start from 0, I just do days fundraising minus 1, so that now it goes from 0 up to 29. Then to make that amount raised per day calculation, all I need to do is divide the total raised to date by the day's fundraising. And then you'll see that we get these values that were in Carl's output there. And then what I'm going to do is I want to work out the average for different days of the week. So I chose to duplicate this date field. So right-clicked on it and went to the duplicate field option. And then for that field, I converted the dates, as you can see, into the weekdays. So how do you go about converting dates? You go to the ellipsis menu here, you convert dates, and I chose day of the week. There you go. And you can see it gives you examples of the weekday names, which is exactly what I got out. And so now I can rename this to weekday. Finally, I want to know that average amount raised per weekday. So I used a fixed LOD here to group by the weekday and to take the average of the amount raised per day. And that was it for this week's challenge. So hopefully that was useful to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something new. Thanks very much for watching.